In France, Audra finds Kyle working out shirtless in the maze. Sally comes up behind her and tells her good morning. What an incredible view. Audra muses, yes, it is. Sally asks Audra what she's doing. Kyle grunts, gets up, and wishes them good morning. They remark on the loud rain last night. Sally hopes the lightning didn't damage the cell towers. None of them have had service. Claire and Nate must wonder why they haven't called. Audra's sure Genoa City is surviving just fine. All in their swimsuits, they continue complaining about the cell service as they prepare to lounge in the sun. Sally tells them Lauren, Michael, Abby and Chance came last night. Kyle's surprised. He announces he's taking a dip to cool off. Audra watches him and Sally asks what's going on. She reminds her Nate's faithfully waiting for her at home. Audra tells Sally there's nothing going on, then corrects herself to explain that they're starting their publicity stunt today. There's nothing between them beyond that. Sally saw her checking Kyle out. Audra insists it's strictly business and she'd never jeopardize her relationship with Nate. Sally warns her about trying to play Victor, it could blow up in her face. She's playing with fire. Audra knows exactly what she's doing. Nothing will happen that she doesn't control. Kyle gets out of the pool and asks to join them. He pulls up a chair and Audra suggests they approach Dumas this morning. Kyle tells her they can drop Dumas now. He doesn't want to talk to him now that he's been revealed as Kane Ashby. Audra gawps. Why would he think that? Kyle and Audra debate the point. Kyle can't imagine getting Kane to choose a fragrance. Audra argues that he's a billionaire. Kyle insists the trip is a total bust. Audra doesn't want to leave early and miss the very special evening that's planned. Sally thinks this whole thing has felt like a game of smoke and mirrors. Billy appears as Audra complains that Kane could still be an asset. He says, I'm with Audra. I want to stick around. Sally's irked by this. She snaps that they can find out about Kane's agenda back at home. Billy wants to at least stay for the special evening. Kyle can't see the point of staying. Audra refuses to give up on the idea that Ashby could be beneficial for her company. Sally recalls that Billy and Kane aren't close. He argues that he respects what he did to get back in everyone's good graces. Sally thinks it's a smokescreen for a shady business deal. Billy points out they may not have a choice but to stay. Carter told him the storm last night wiped out the tracks and the road up to the chateau. They might not be going anywhere anytime soon. Sally's starting to feel like a hostage, so Billy teases her and they run off to get mimosas. Kyle complains to Audra about being trapped there. Audra agrees, she can't fall off the map like this. Kyle's sure Claire's wondering why they can't talk. Audra tries to reassure him about Cole and decides to cheer him up. She pulls Jabbett's sunscreen out of her beach bag and admits it's the best. Holding it out to him, she asks, do you mind? Kyle puts sunscreen on Audra, who asks if he really thinks it's useless to take her idea to Kane. Kyle feels there's no mystique surrounding him anymore. Jabbett and Vibrant will come off looking like clingy hangers-on. It's not a good look for either of them. It's not the way to go. Audra decides they need a whole new strategy. Kyle agrees. They need a new stunt. Audra suggests they work on it together and come up with something memorable. A little bit more on my neck, please. Billy and Sally return, and spot Kyle touching Audra. He asks, what's that all about? Sally's been asking herself the same thing. Every answer she comes up with sounds more and more like trouble. Victoria gives an update on Cole. Esther brings Claire and Victoria some tea at Crimson Lights and asks about Cole. Victoria says he's still in the hospital in Chicago. They came home to check on Johnny and Katie. The doctors are treating him but there's been no change. He's been diagnosed with Legionnaire's disease, a rare and serious form of pneumonia. Esther's sorry to hear that. Claire vows he'll get better but then breaks down. Nate appears as Victoria comforts Claire, and hears her tell Esther how concerned they are about Cole. Esther trots off and Nate approaches them to ask if everything is okay. Victoria fills him in on Cole's diagnosis and the treatment's not working. Nate learns his fever is still too high but he's not yet on a ventilator. He tries to reassure them. Claire heard one of the nurses say that the doctors may not have caught it in time. Nate says it's true that Legionnaires has to be treated quickly but healthy people can survive. Claire has to go home and bolts out. Nate thinks Victoria could use some air as well. Moving to the patio, Victoria thanks Nate for giving them some hope. Nate knows the fear they must be feeling right now. Victoria can't get rid of the knot in her stomach and hates Claire seeing her father hooked up in the hospital. The father she found again after all these years. Nate reminds her she found her mother as well. He will listen and absorb some of the pain if he can. She tells him he was a great doctor and hasn't lost his touch. Do you ever miss it? Nate's had doubts. He recently became close friends with a woman who has leukemia, and he felt lucky to be able to help. Victoria heard he found out he has a brother. Nate says, half-brother, and the woman is his mother. It's a work in progress with Damien, but he adores his mom. His brother will be joining them at Winters when he's back from Nice. Victoria's happy for him. Tell me something, Nate. She asks if he still harbors resentment about the way things ended between them. Nate has forgiven Victoria and let it go a long time ago. She tells him she has regret. They have known each other a long time, it made her sad that she lost the friendship. Nate says it makes him sad too, but things worked out as they were supposed to. She found happiness with Cole. Victoria hopes this nightmare will be over soon and Cole will recover. She's worried about Claire. Nate recalls that Kyle's in Nice too. Victoria sighs that he's totally unreachable. She could really use another friend right now. Holden to the rescue. At the Overlook, Claire has a panic attack. Holden appears, shirtless, and calls her name, trying to calm her down. He coaches her to take slower, deeper breaths. Close your eyes. Close your lips. He counts her breaths, and she finally regains her composure. He asks if she's okay. She nods, better than I was. He likes that. Claire felt like she was having a heart attack. He asks if that was her first panic attack. She says yes. He knows the feeling, he suffered massive anxiety in his teens. She learns he was the captain of the football team and had to be cool. He asks what happened. Claire says talking about it might bring another attack, she doesn't want to think about it. Holden assures her he is there to help. Claire asks what Holden was doing up there. He was on his nightly run. It's a stress reliever. He saw her by chance, and it was obvious she was upset. Claire's glad he did. He was happy to help out. Claire tells him she can go back to his run. The next time she sees him the Vespers are on her. Holden says there's no time like the present. Claire says, let's do it. Holden and Claire arrive at Society. He tells her to pick a seat, and he'll get the drinks. Her phone rings, it's Victoria checking on her. Claire tells her she's fine and needed to clear her head. She ran into a friend who helped her calm down. Victoria is glad and talked through some things with Nate too. They express their love. At Crimson Lights, Victoria disconnects from Claire as Nate brings another drink and something to eat. She fills him in on Claire. She's curious who came to her rescue. She chides Nate for remembering her favorite cake and promises to have a proper meal soon. Victoria appreciates his thoughtfulness and forgiveness. He jokes about her father holding a grudge, but he wants the best for all of the Newmans. She asks about him and Audra. She doesn't trust her and is surprised he does. Nate thinks she's learned some things and he feels getting out from under Tucker's hold was good for her. Victoria still has a hard time believing she's changed. At Society, Holden puts the drinks down and says they're just what the doctor ordered. This triggers her and she admits her dad is facing a medical issue. Holden apologizes. She doesn't want to talk about it. They toast to the healing power of Vespers and to her good fortune in running into him tonight. He thinks he was the lucky one. Claire asks Holden if he actually lives in LA given he's in Genoa City so much. Holden explains he lost his job in California and has to work out where to work and live. Claire sees he's dealing with stress as well. Holden feels stuck and isn't sure he wants to go back to LA. He likes the low-key jam of Genoa City. He thinks he'll stay with real estate investing and just made a connection with a company buying up key properties in town. Claire hopes it works out for him. Holden will put some positive vibes out there for her and her dad as well. She's grateful that he found her. He thinks they found each other. They toast. Next on The Young and the Restless, Nick questions Kane's intentions, Sharon and Phyllis receive a painful reminder of their past trauma, and Lily makes a bold move with Damien.